Okay, so everything is changing. What's happening now is that everything is very, very different than it used to be. And I think this is a deliberate thing. Look, we call this order out of chaos, right? This is the way they are going to institute the new world order system. Everybody right now is running out of money. Everybody right now is feeling the pinch, and not just in America, but all around the world. There is plenty, but then right now there's an abundance, but yet even in the abundance, there is lack. And so I guess I hope you understand that. Anyway, good morning to each and every one of you. God bless you. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you're not a member of this channel, subscribe, because I'm going to be talking about this kind of content quite a bit, because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the change that's happening right now, the big change that is happening across the world, this new monetary system that's developed. And people pretty much are all victims of it, where again nobody has any money. Nobody has any money, and you think that that's a mistake. Now you say, well, there are some people have money. Yeah, the elite have money, and they are still living comfortably. But there are many people today who are not living comfortably as they were 5, 10 years ago, even past 2008, right? In 2008, when we had the economic, and, and going all back, I don't know if you guys can remember that, but going all the way back, supposed to be the collapse, right? The big collapse was supposed to happen in 2008. They were going to be getting rid of the dollar. There was going to be a new monetary system. But again, Wall Street was well, when Obama came in, Wall Street was bailed out, and then they reset the money then. But now we're looking at something that almost is inescapable, right? They have all of this money for technology, they have all of this money for military weapons, they have all of this money for what they want to do, but yet there's no money for the economy. There's no money for the people out there in the economy. And so what we have now is a situation where, you have this order out of chaos, this new monetary system being set up right before our eyes, and it's in a deliberate attempt to destroy um, the monetary system. That's what's going on. It's an implosion. It's kind of like the twin towers coming down, and we are watching it happen right now in real time. And so as we're watching these things happen in real time, we are expected to respond the way they want us to respond. Now, here's what they're saying. They're saying we're going to give you universal basic income. That's what they're going to do. They're going to give us this universal basic income, and they're going to make everybody have a livable wage. Now, that livable wage will be based upon a credit system in which you can receive more if you become an informant to the state, if you become one of the people who would sell out your own family for the state. It's going to be a loyalty-based kind of economy, right? And loyalty-based economy will be one in which you'll be a trader among your own. I often wonder when Jesus said, what's going to happen is that if you're in the last days, your parents will be sold out by their children, right? The children will turn against the parents, and all of the different people will actually give up their loyalty, and that's what's really going to happen. That's what Jesus is going to say. Jesus says about the last days. The last days are going to be days of deception, betrayal, right? Betrayal, and one will betray another. That's what will happen in the last days. And not only one will betray another, but family members will betray one another. Similar to what happened in Nazi Germany, many of the people who were relatives and neighbors and those kinds of things ended up betraying their own for, a morsel of bread, more favors, all of that kind of thing. Now, if you think about that on a large scale, on a worldwide scale, AI will be controlling all of this. They'll be watching you. You'll be constantly under surveillance. Big Brother will know what you're doing every moment of the day, and people will be trying to actually get around the system, and you will get rewarded if you turn people in for going around the system or trying to do their own trading without using the credit system that they have. And much like it is right now in China, you can hardly get anybody in China to actually uh, in China, you can't get anybody to say anything openly about what's going on, right? They all know that if they get on their social media or whatever they have going on in China, if they get on any particular kind of camera or anything like that, they all know that they are going to get lose their social credit score, and they're going to be actually downgraded. So if they want a bigger apartment, they have to be loyal to the system. And this is what's going on now. With us, it is now they are actually using credit and credit systems and all of that particular kind of thing to qualify you for a house, to be able to live in a house. And mostly, if you've noticed, there are so many more houses for rent now that people can't afford it. You know, the houses are sky high. Even your modest house right now is running over 300, $400,000 for a small little bitty flat that used to cost no more than $20,000 when it first went on the market. Now they are taking these small flats and running them up to something like 300. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some of the houses in California, and some of those houses are running over $1 million for those little small 3-bedroom flats that they are have now. So it's really crazy what we're seeing happen, right? So, in my opinion, I'm just saying that they are squeezing the lifeblood out of the people and making it so ridiculous. Like my wife and I, we went to Sam's just the other day, and she was saying to me, she said, wow, everything is so expensive. It's so crazy how expensive everything is. And yeah, it is expensive because everything is changing. They are changing it up where they own everything and we own nothing. And unless we go back and we were able to pull our authority back and go possibly, into our own economy, then you can possibly have a change, right? But it's not going to change until we, possibly take back this authority. But I doubt it. Guys, I'm very honest with you. I doubt if we're going to do anything. Most people are not going to do one cotton picking thing. They're going to allow this all to happen because most people are afraid, and they are afraid of speaking out. They're afraid of consequences. And the Bible says that who's going to be able to defy the beast? You're not going to be able to defy the beast at all, right? Okay, so anyway, Leah, like say good morning. What do you guys think this morning? Just kind of like talking about what's going on. People are running out of money. Things are changing. And even right now, people don't have as much cash. There's an abundance of things. We got an abundance of things, but the things that we have are so expensive that right now you can't afford it. You can't even afford a box of chicken from a chicken place, right? It's so expensive. And the other way, let's say. Right. Let's see. D. Smith, you say eventually a loaf of bread will cost a day's wages. Exactly. This is exactly what the Bible said is going to happen. A loaf of bread will cost a, a day's wages. And it seems like that's what's going on. We are really uh, doing this. Now, I mean, I don't know how many of you recognize even your eating patterns have changed. How many of you, by the show of hands, you know that your eating patterns have changed? You say, well, okay, I don't have to have 3 meals a day. All I need is this, that, and other thing. Maybe some of you already have been doing that already, but there are a lot of people who are now only eating 1 meal a day, if they're eating that. And there are some people who, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you're struggling to do it because it's just too expensive. People, I'm telling you, everything is changing. And it's changing because money answers all things. According to the scripture, money answers all things. And the root of this is the love of money, right? The love of money is going to take over. It's going to be completely about control because when you have the money, when you have the food, and you control the people. That's what Henry Kissinger just said a long time ago. We control the food, we control the people. And they have all the money, they have all the food locked up in Sam's and Costco's. They have all the food locked up in Walmart. They have all the food locked up in their little institutions. We don't have any food. We don't even have a farm to go and get any food from because they've taken all the farms away. They burned up all of our fields and made sure that no one's able to go out there in California and raise any, uh, grow any food on their own, have an apple orchard or anything like that. They're making sure that they cover everything. They went out to Hawaii, burned that place up, and they've taken over the land there. uh, there are so many regions now that are being quarantined off because the rich billionaires and trillionaires, they're buying up all of the property and property rights and land and water rights. So everything is changing, even down to the last penny, according to what they say. They want to control finances all the way down to the last penny. Everything on this earth would be accounted for, and nothing on this earth, I don't care if it's a tree, will be um, will be left out of the accounting on this earth. And they're going to use a mastermind to do it. The mind of AI. AI is going to know every tree, every blade of grass, every square inch of the earth's surface, and everything that is available to eat, to use, to buy, sell, the natural rights, the mineral rights, everything will be under their control. And you won't be able to run around and do anything free um, from hunting to fishing to anything. You're not going to be able to do any of that because they're going to make sure that if you catch a fish, that fish belongs to the government, the overall far-reaching government people. So I don't know where you guys are going to hide because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to, in particular kind of day that the Bible talks about is going to happen, it's going to be a day in which they are going to have complete total control. There's never been any time in history like this. There's never been a time in history. And thank you for that, Thomas. Learning to fast. Well, I've already learned to fast, and that's a foregone conclusion for me. Used to be, let me see, I was over 240 pounds at one time, Thomas, but I dropped all the way down to a 180 now. I run about 180, and I try to keep it right there and do some exercise and running and that kind of thing. And I try to eat right, and I'm trying to eat clean. So that's a big difference in the way I'm eating than I used to eat. I used to just eat any old trash that they give me out the side of a window at a fast food place. But I don't do that anymore. I don't even visit those fast food places because half the stuff that they're giving us on the fast food places are not even real food, right? The majority of it is not real food. And all it is a product. It's a product that some man created, and who knows, it might have been lab grown. So it really is the way it is. Yeah. So Gary, what you saying? There are things coming on the earth so terrifying that men's hearts will fail them for fear. Amen to that. I agree with you 100%. And so things are changing. Things are changing, whether you realize it or not. It's kind of like that parable, that proverb. I don't know what it's a man-made proverb about the frog in the pot, right? The frog in the pot. The reason people don't realize that things are changing is because it's like the frog in the pot. People are in the water, and the water is heating up in the pot. There's, the burners are turned up to boil. But the frog doesn't realize it because the water started out warm. But then eventually the water gets hotter and hotter and hotter while the pot is beginning. The frog doesn't even realize pretty soon he's going to be dead. And that's the way it is. And next thing you know, you got the frog, he's cooked. And that's what's happening with us right now. They are slowly removing money, imploding the economy, changing things around us, changing the laws, changing the customs, changing the times, so much so that the frog is beginning to just boil and simmer in this pot. And that's what's happening to us. Things have changed so much, and since even when I was a kid, we used to have a field right down the street from us that we would go and get our food from. I remember as a child going down the street, just walk down the street, and there was a field that was called the community field, and everybody had uh, participated in growing crops in that community. And we go down there and get turnip greens. We go down there and get all sorts of cauliflower, everything. We could get it right straight out of the ground, and then we bring it back, and they would cook it right there in your house, and that's the way they would do it. We had chickens in our backyard, and I remember seeing the chickens. Of course, this might sound brutal to you, but we'd wring the neck of that chicken and cook that chicken. Those were the things that would happen. We would do that. I would see those things happen as a child, and we had that big vat of lard, and they put that lard over in that black pot. And I'm telling you those were the days when we survived on our own. I come from a day when we had the outdoor uh, uh, the outdoor outhouse, right? And you walk out the door, and this one had a chain we would pull. We pull the chain, and the water would go whoosh, and then that's how we come back in, and they boil that pot right there on the potbelly stove in the middle of the house, and that's the way we kept warm. And we collect coal, and we collect wood, and put it in the fire. And we learned not to touch the fire when it was glowing. How many kids know that today? Kids don't know that today because they're so doggone protected from the consequences of anything that they don't know how to even like protect themselves. They're just getting into some dumb accidents. They have all these helmets and these knee pads on, and these elbow pads, and everything is about safety, right? It's just totally about safety. It's so crazy the way it is today. It's just really different. Anyway, you guys share the video, like the video. You guys who are new to this channel, subscribe. And this more of this content, this type of way we do it here on our show. So anyway, God bless you. And my links are in the description.